Hey TikTokers, once again, it's the great Mahau, and welcome back. Okay, so it's still the same day. Right now, we'll just be discussing the other concepts. So, I did explain machine learning algorithm and machine learning model. Now, what we need to understand is there's basically different types of machine learning methods, basically learning methods, right? There is the supervised and unsupervised learning methods. So let's firstly start with the supervised one, right? You remember back in primary when you did mathematics, right? We used to do this mind maps. You had the x values and the y values. So the y values, yeah, some of them you would basically get answers for them, and then the rest you just have to fill out, right? So you're given the x values, you're given a function, and then you're given some of the y values. So basically, you're given answers, and then you just need to, basically see the pattern and follow the pattern from there on. And then, yeah, that's basically, the supervised learning when it comes to machine learning. You are given guidance in a way, right? And then the unsupervised one, over there, it's basically you getting those x values, but you don't have the y values. You still have a function, but you don't have the y values, okay? So that's basically the difference between those two. Let me try to come up with examples. Let's talk about the supervised learning. Let's talk about the example. What would be an example, like, a suitable example for this one, except for that diagram that I was talking about? You've got like a pile of, let's say maybe a pile of cards, right? Um, they are colored cards and they are also shaped, right? So what you would need to do is you firstly, you would be, now, let's not make that example. That one is a bad example. Let's talk about, now you've got pictures, pictures of cats and dogs. And then those pictures are labeled. This is a dog and this is a cat. So by that, you're basically given guidance. And in a way, not in a way, but automatically you'll know if you're showing a particular picture or no, there's a dog, no, there's a cat, because they are labeled and you saw the labels, right? But then now when it comes to unsupervised, then let's go to that pile. So that first example that I made, the pile of, cards, that's basically for unsupervised learning. Yes, we got those colored cards. They are shaped. So what happens is you're not given answers. They are only shaped, like it's triangles, squares, circles, and all that. And then they're also colored, red, green, blue, and all that. Fine. So what you would have to do, you'll have to group the pile of cards according to the different shapes. You put triangles into triangles, or maybe the triangles compartment. You put the squares into the square compartment, just like that. Or you can basically group the pile of cards using the different colors. So basically, the unsupervised learning, that's you finding your way around. Basically, let me stop saying basically, but that's you trying to find your way around, but then using an educated guess in a way. So another example is, as a student, I'm coming across a problem, a coding program, a coding problem, not program, and then I'm struggling. I'm struggling to resolve this problem. And instead of going to AI, I sit down with it, I write it down, try to implement what I've been taught in class. What is that? That is unsupervised learning, because I'm not depending on guidance. Oh, well, there is guidance, but it's guidance that I got in class, which is educated guessing. But then For the supervised learning example, what I would say is now I don't even try to implement what I've been taught in class. I just go straight to AI, give the problem to AI, then AI gives me an answer. Yeah, that one is supervised learning. But then there's also another concept, one that we call semi-supervised learning. So semi-supervised learning is basically the combination of both, right? So that's one that's mostly used in machine learning. Because just imagine if you have millions of pictures, like we deal with pixels, right? We are designing websites, applications, and all that. And when you're designing a website or when you're designing an application, there will come a point where you have to utilize pictures. And pictures deal with pixels. Pixels, it's a lot of them. It's millions of pixels. Just imagine if you have to basically implement the supervised learning individually, then after that you have to implement the unsupervised learning. That would take you years. According to research, according to research, the Stanford University, they did some research and then they figured out, okay, fine. For them to basically utilize the supervised learning individually and the unsupervised learning individually for a particular number of pixels, it took them like 2 years and a half. So just imagine you're trying to resolve a problem, or I'm designing a website and then it takes me 2 years and a half. Nobody will want to do that. So instead, what you do, you implement the semi-supervised learning, whereby you are then able to utilize both at the same time, not individually. So yeah, that should be it. I don't know, but probably that should be the last video I'm making for the day. Cheers.